Missing the detail, yeah. Let me get the slides up. Chad, is that slide showing okay? Great.
Yes, 100%.
Great. So we're all ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it, Tina. Should we do it? Do you want to do a little intro?
Yeah, absolutely. So welcome to today's session, and welcome to Ideas UK. As you know, the purpose of Ideas UK is to support an organisation's sustainability through the power of innovative thinking. And we are delighted once again to welcome Grant and the team from the Innovation Training Network to share their expertise with us. It's so sad this year that we're not having a conference, but hopefully these knowledge nuggets are still giving you that little fix of innovation that we all need. So I'll hand over to you, Grant, for Solve a Tough Problem in 60 minutes or less.
Yes, it's a bold title, right?
It is. Good luck.
It's a big ask today, and we're going to need everybody, all hands on deck to do this. But what we wanted to show you is how accessible this is for remote teams to collaborate and solve problems really, really quickly. So it's a neat little process that anybody can do. And at the end of it, we'll give you all the templates that you can literally go and take it and play with it yourself. So that's the plan, and we won't let you down. We'll solve a problem in 60 minutes or less. Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see some familiar faces. Awesome to have you back again. And we've really, really loved doing these knowledge nuggets. We love Ideas UK. We love innovation, and it's been too cool. So thanks for joining us. A little bit about us. Innovation Network, we're a worldwide network of innovation experts, consultants, trainers, speakers. So anything in the innovation sort of training, coaching, consultancy space is up our street. And we've actually added a new process into the business, which is helping companies do remote collaboration support. So we've got a couple of customers that have their own innovation processes, but needed help to collaborate more effectively online. And we're having some fun with that as well. And this is one of the tools we use that we're going to show you today. Zina, do you want to introduce our panel of experts that'll take some tough questions at the end?
Yeah, so today we have myself, obviously, from Ideas UK, the Operations Director, then delighted to be joined by Lindsay McLean, who works in transformation for the Wye Valley NHS Trust, and Sheila Walker from Direct Line Group. So they're going to be our ready and winning panelists to answer any questions that anyone may have.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Lindsay, Sheila, and Zina. It's always great to have like a wealth of expertise in the room. So any questions you got, we've got some Q&A time at the end, and we'd love to spend some time on that. A little bit about us. My name is Grant Vernon, 15 years in training. My specialty is innovation sprints, and that's what I love to be doing all day, every day. I was an accountant in a past life, so if you really need to know something about innovation accounting, I can cast my mind back. Connor, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Connor. I hail from Wales. I'm the digital specialist at Innovation Network, so you might recognise me from the tech safari I did. So yeah, any tech questions you have after this, just hit me up on email, and it would be really good to speak to you. Chad?
Amazing. And Chad, yeah?
Yeah, I'm Chad. I have been working with Grant for just over 10 years. I was an architectural technologist before this journey with Grant started, and I am the junior facilitator and training manager here at Innovation Network.
Can't be 10 years, Chad. You got no grey hair, so that can't be true.
I diet, that's why. It's fine.
All right. Obviously. Let's do it, guys. We're going to solve a tough innovation problem remotely in 60 minutes or less. Connor's going to share screen and drive a little platform called Miro. I'm going to stop sharing, and Chad is going to call out your contributions as we go. So we're going to ask you, Stuart, best background of the day. Special prize for that. We're going to ask you to collaborate with us as we go, and we wanted to show you a little platform we love called Miro. there's lots of collaboration platforms out there. The ones that we particularly use are Mural, Sprintbase, and Miro. We receive no affiliate fees, but Miro has become our favorite. For what we wanted to do, it was the most effectively priced and the easiest for sort of guest collaborator participation. But if you wanted to find out more about different collaboration platforms that you could use this process on, I believe there'll be a recording on the Ideas UK portal of the Connor's Tech Safari. So we're going to do this today in Miro. You could absolutely take this canvas and use it in one of the other platforms. And I wanted to show you the power of the sprint methodology, remote collaboration, and how much you can achieve in a very, very short space of time. The principles of any design sprint is time boxing. So time boxing, post-it notes, silent brainstorming, and they're really, really effective tactics to create a lot of value in a very, very short space of time. So without further ado, we're going to zoom in and do this thing together. So I'm going to ask you all to contribute in the chat. Chad will call it out, Connor will type, and we're going to start off. Connor, if you can zoom in onto the sailboat. We call this the sailboat exercise. It's a very simple problem-solving process. There's lots of different ones. You'd find a world of them in the Miroverse, which is an open source sort of portal of templates, but this is our one that we really love. So we start off in the Miroverse by looking at whatever problem we want to tackle, whatever issue, what's above the surface, what's moving us forward, what's positive. Then we take a look at what's holding us back, and we pick the biggest challenge that could create the most value, and we turn that into a little experiment to innovate around. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, first of all, tell us what's going well with innovation in your companies. So into the chat, tell us what's working, what's moving you forward, what's going really well with innovation in your companies. Drop it into the chat. Connor, if you can set a timer for 3 minutes, sorry, before you do bulk mode. So we always set time limits because, you know, the Parkinson's principle, tasks expand to fill whatever time you give it. If you've ever had a brainstorm meeting, you'll know you can spend 40 minutes talking around one point if you're not careful. So we time box it with a time limit, and then we brainstorm as many things as we can. So Connor, if you can go back to bulk mode. Bulk mode is a really cool process in Miro where you can drop a whole lot of ideas onto post-it notes very, very quickly. And it's a really effective way to do an individual silent brainstorm. All of this, if you haven't seen it before, Connor's got a superb course called the Tuskfish Trail that will make you into a Miro expert, also in 60 minutes or less. Connor, doesn't get better than that. So if you're new to Miro, not part of this process, but if you want to learn Miro, we've got a free course. Just drop Connor a note. All right, we've got a couple of contributions there. Chad, let's do it.
Okay. Connor, are you ready?
Yep, ready now, sorry.
Industry engagement.
Great.
Right, then you got clear understanding and buy into why we need to change.
Okay, while Connor's typing, Stuart, can you unmute and tell us about incremental innovation?
Yeah, sure. So we've defined our innovation activities into three sort of areas. So incremental innovation is just where it's small changes, almost continuous improvement. Then we've got transformation, and then we've got wise pivot or game changers.
Awesome. So a couple of other nice, neat terms in there. Incremental is awesome because it does need to be leapfrog, but I'm interrupting the sprint. So we'll pick up a couple of those words at the end, Stuart. Thanks for that. Chad, a couple more. Let's go, go, go. I'm sorry I've scuttled the timing.
People are motivated.
Good.
Incremental innovation.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about typos, Connor. Messy, get it on the board. Yeah, good, good, good.
A reason to change.
I like Pragya's one, multidisciplinary teams. Pragya, nice to see you again. So multidisciplinary teams. Sorry, Chad.
Okay. Connor, just let me know when you're ready. I think there's a lag.
I'm ready.
Okay. Right culture, recognition. Creativity workshops. Emotive association. Empowerment of our people. Mandate to change. Any more?
No, that's it. Right, let's restart the timer again. We're going to head to below the water. And this is quite a nice technique where we look at what's holding us back. So the what's moving us forward is a really effective way to start a meeting, start a session with what's positive, what's good. And it sets a really nice tone because we suddenly realize there's quite a lot more that's going well than what we realized. So very neat way to start. Then we go to below the surface, you'll see the anchor of the ship, what's holding us back. So once we've brainstormed what's going well about the particular challenge we're looking at, we want to brainstorm what's holding us back, what's blocking us, what's stopping us, what's frustrating us about the situation. So let's reset the timer, 3 minutes again, and then we're going to brainstorm what's stopping you, blocking you, holding you back with innovation in your businesses. All right, let's go. And I'll shut up this time.
Financial annularity.
Sorry, what was the last one?
Financial annularity.
We'll just write accountants.
Yeah, accountants.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's far worse than accountants.
I know, Stuart. Tell us quick. What is it?
So annularity. So public sector, we only get 1 year's worth of funding, so we can only commit on a year-by-year basis. So if we're running multi-year programs, we have to do stuff each year for them.
So budgetary constraints. Lindsay says limited resources could be a good one.
Habits. Time constraint. No capacity to support. People are overwhelmed and tired. How we've always done things. Limited resource to test and implement all the new ideas. Okay.
Keep them coming, guys. 90 seconds.
Cluttered landscape.
Stuart, you're going to have to explain what Valley of Death is.
So Valley of Death is where you have a something which you've proved is of benefit, but then you can't then get it into as a core service. So we refer to it as a Valley of Death. So you've got something which is really good, clearly beneficial, but then you can't land it as something which the business then uses.
Nice
workload. Buy-in. Reliance on traditional approaches. Low curiosity. Commercial processes. Not my job. Hierarchy.
Spell.
Technology readiness.
I like that one. Yep.
Not invented here mentally.
Yeah.
Invented or invested?
Mentality, not invented here.
Mentality, sorry.
Got you.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
No,
Other priorities was the last one.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, look at that. In 3 minutes, we've got 19 different challenges. Awesome. All right. So brilliant. Con, if you can zoom out a little bit so we can see the top and the bottom of the sailboat. How cool is that, guys? In about 7.5 minutes, we considered an area, and this could be any project you were working on, any issue you wanted to tackle. We had a look at what's working really well, what's positive. We then identified what's holding us back. What's nice about this silent brainstorm is it's democratic. Everybody gets the chance to put stuff on the board. There's no discussion, no debate. We call it together but alone. So we're all contributing, we're all brainstorming, but there's no innovation blockers, no discussion, no politics. You're just getting volumes of ideas onto the board. Now what we want to do is, from all those things that are holding us back, we're going to use a voting process to identify the challenge that we think is worth focusing on. So what I'm going to ask Connor to do is to zoom back in on the challenges, the red post-its, and we're going to do some voting. So what I'm going to ask you to each to do is to put the issue that you think is the biggest challenge that would be worth working on. So from all of those innovation constraints or challenges, I want you each to pick one that you think we should focus on. What's the highest value problem that if we solve that would create the biggest impact? So what's the challenge there that's got the highest value if we found a way to improve it or solve it? And I'm going to ask you to drop that into the chat. So which one of those do you think is the biggest challenge that we should try and innovate some solutions to? And drop that into the chat.
How we've always done things.
Okay, left, yeah.
Left, second from the top.
Okay, good.
Workload. That is on the right, same row. Valley of death was next to that. Reliance on traditional approaches. Another one for Valley of Death.
Nice.
No capacity to support. Workload.
Workload, nice.
Okay. Any others? Other priorities? Right at the bottom, right-hand side. Cool. Another one for how we've always done things.
All right, nicely done. That's it, guys. Connor, if you can copy the 3 with 2 votes across to the next sheet. So the voting process can be a very effective way of, as a team, aligning on which challenge we should work on. So sometimes what we do is we do a process called a heat map first. So we have different colored stickers that are smaller, and we give everyone perhaps 5 or 10, and they just like a heat map on a weather channel. They drop some stickers onto the board so you can see which areas have got potential or value or interest. And then we use a different colored sticker for voting. In this case, we just used a straight vote. So straight away, we can zoom in and have a look at the 3 innovation challenges we as a team think that would be the most valuable if we could overcome them. Now we've got a tie. So we've got a technique for that, and it's called a decider vote. So you might elect someone to be your decider, or there may be someone in the room that's the stakeholder, the budget authority that's got the power to decide. And Zena, we are going to give you the deciding power today. So Connor, get Zena a different colored post-it note, a different colored sticker. And Zena, we're going to ask you to pick one of those 3 challenges for us to move forward with. Which one do you choose?
Oh, the pressure. But I think I'm going to go with, I can't see them all.
Sorry.
How we've always done things, because I think there were a couple that were kind of along that line, that that kind of reluctance to change it's just the way it works around here. Yeah,
that's the way we've always done things. Brilliant. All right, so Connor, if you can zoom out so we can see the sailboat and those 2 sheets. In 10-12 minutes, we've identified our biggest challenges as an organization. We've prioritized the 3 we think have got the most value, and we haven't lost those 3. What we're doing is taking a quick decision on which one we want to tackle in this hour. The rest are there on a canvas for us to come back to. So I really love this because it's a quick, agile process, but everything is there to come back to. And you'll notice Connor duplicated those post-it notes instead of cutting them and pasting them across, so that we can absolutely come back to the original ideas and rinse and repeat later on if we wanted to. Connor, let's head across to a how might we question. I'm going to ask you, smart innovation people in the room, how do we take that problem, how we've always done things around here, and turn it into a how might we? A how might we is a informal question that says, if we were to solve this problem, let's turn it into a hypothesis, something that we could explore. We don't know that we could solve it, but if we were to explore it, what would be a good question to ask? So, yeah, there we go. Zena's got one. How might we encourage people to try new things? Let's get a couple more and we might blend them together. So how might we encourage people to try new things? How might we encourage people to innovate? Could be one. Sheila's got one. How might we showcase the benefits of innovation? Sorry, Chad, I'm stealing your thunder here. I apologize.
It's all good. How might we relax procurement processes? How might we identify opinion leaders to challenge thinking? I like that one. How might we create an environment to allow failure?
All right, sold. Lindsay, I'm going to pick your one. So I think it should be, Connor, how might we create an environment to encourage failure and stimulate innovation? Well, that's not a good one. Help me with the wording. How might we create an environment to encourage failure? What was Lindsay's one again, Chad? Give me that again.
Create an environment to allow failure. But I also like the one above it that says identify opinion leaders to challenge thinking.
Yeah, so let's think. How might we challenge thinking?
He's putting your typing skills to the test, Connor.
Yeah, and how he's going to have carpal tunnel. I hope we paid our NHS this month, yeah.
To create, to create an environment that, to allow failure, I was thinking.
How might we challenge thinking to create an environment to allow failure and encourage innovation? Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be quick, right? So what you'll notice there is if we were doing this live, we would have got all of those how might we's onto different post-it notes. We would have had them down the right-hand side. And then you as a facilitator of this process, you could talk through each one very briefly. You could get people to vote. So we could have put all of those how might we's together, done a quick voting process, and the ones with the most votes, we could have blended together. But for purposes of this session where we want to try and get done and have some Q&A, I've taken a autocratic stance and given us one to work with, just to show you the process. But we could absolutely have captured all those suggestions onto individual post-it notes, done a voting, and then blended them. All right, Connor, let's go to the next section. So now we're going to do some very quick ideation, and last month we had all sorts of clever techniques on ideation, but for this one it's going to be a simple brainstorming technique. So team, the how might we question, Connor, if you can just cancel bulk mode just so I can do the how might we, thank you. How might we challenge thinking to create an environment that will allow failure and encourage innovation? So that's our how might we. How might we challenge thinking to create an environment to allow failure and encourage innovation? That's our how might we, and we're going to set a timer for 3 minutes. And as a team, I want you to brainstorm as many clever ways to help people to create an environment that will allow failure and encourage innovation, change that mindset. Everybody happy with the how might we? So how might we create an environment that will challenge thinking, allow failure and encourage innovation? And we're looking for as many brainstorms as we can get in 3 minutes. All right, let's start the timer and 3 minutes, let's go. Drop into the chat as many ideas as you can. So this is a silent brainstorm, individual. Just drop in as many ideas as you can. Chad.
Incentives in support of new behavior. Reward behaviors, not always success, but people who try. I think you can just leave that reward behaviors. Utilize PDSA methodology. Share examples of where seeing behavior that we want.
Of what, sorry?
Of where seeing behavior that we want. Communicate successes. Celebrate previous success. Program of activities to support competence and confidence. Speak to individuals concerned and thank them. Promote culture that allows change. Give an outcome and let the team create their how. Promote perspective of seeing failures and as building blocks. Success stories from successful innovators, not top-down messaging. Focus on the behaviors we want. Showcase learning. Supportive incentives. I think that's all of them. Any more?
All right, let's dump that on the board, guys. Nicely done.
Sounds good.
16.
Yeah, so look at that. 16 ideas generated in 3 minutes or less. So it's a very quick, very agile process. What we're going to do now is we're going to do some voting to see which one of those we think has got the greatest potential. So which one of those solutions ideas has got the greatest potential. We're going to evaluate them in terms of impact versus effort. And then the one with the greatest impact with the least amount of effort, we're going to turn into an action plan. All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do, guys, is to pick the idea there that you think has got the greatest potential. So which solution idea there do you think has got the greatest potential? And drop that into the chat and Connor will place your votes. So I'll read them out as we go. Incentives in support of new behavior, reward behaviors, utilize PDSA methodology. Who can unmute and tell us what PDSA is?
Sorry, yeah, that's me. That's plan, do, study, act. So that's doing a change, assessing whether it's working. If it's not working, putting something extra in place or something different in place, and then assessing to see whether that change has worked and keep going around that cycle until we get to the place we need to get to.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. You taught us something new. That's a cool one. So PDSA methodology, share examples of where seeing behaviors we want, celebrate successes, celebrate previous successes, program of activity support to support competence and confidence, speak to individuals concerned and thank them, promote culture that allows change, give an outcome and let the team create the how, promote perspectives of seeing failures as building blocks, success stories from successful innovations, not top-down messaging, focus on the behaviors we want. Let's have a look. Hold on. Oh, why have I lost that? Sorry, guys. Here we go. Showcase learning and supportive incentives. All right, you may now cast your votes. So which one of those solutions ideas do you think has got the most potential? Connor will cast your vote. Chad will call them out. Chad, you're muted.
Share behaviors of seeing behaviors we want. 2 of them, actually. You can just take 2 one time. Celebrate success. Promote culture that allows change. It's right next to that one. Here we go. Showcase learnings. Failure as building blocks. Second from the bottom, second from the right. There we go. Another one, wait, hold on. Okay, I'm still waiting for more.
Right, we need a couple more votes. So who's going to drop in a vote there? Which one do you think has got the most potential?
That's another one for Celebrate, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it, yes. Sorry.
All right, we're missing a few more votes. Everyone cast their vote. All right, that's it.
Okay.
So Connor, if you can move the 2 with 2 votes across, and then underneath it, duplicate the 2 with 1 vote. Okay, nicely done. So Connor's just Control-D'ing those so we can keep them on the original board for ideas, so we could come back and have a look at all the ideas later if we wanted. And we're picking the ones that have got votes for potential solutions ideas. Connor, if you can zoom in on those. Brilliant. So what's neat about this is we generated a whole lot of ideas. As a team, we've chosen the solutions ideas that we think have got the greatest potential. And we are now, in a very quick way, going to see which one of those could deliver the greatest impact with the least effort. So Connor, if you could head across to the impact effort board next to that. So how we do this one is we start with the ones with the most votes and we hold it just in the middle of that grid. So Connor, if you can pick any one of the 2 votes, perfect, hold it in the middle. And I'm going to ask you as a team just to unmute anyone that's got a strong view and tell me, what do you think is the impact of that idea versus the effort? So celebrate previous successes. Is that high impact or low impact? And what's the effort, low effort or high effort? And let's see where we think that idea should sit. And we're looking for the sweet spot, which is high impact, low effort, easy to implement. Zina, I'm going to pick on you first. What do you think about that one?
I think that's pretty low effort. I think it's dead easy to do. And actually, I think if you did it well, it could have a quite a high impact.
Yeah, and Julie echoes that thought. So Julie, Zina, we're gonna agree with you there and put that up in the sweet spot, top left. Let's see where the others do sit though, because it is quite interesting. Connor, bring the next one. Show examples of behaviors we want to see. Okay, we'll hold it in the middle. Sheila, can I get your thoughts on that one?
You can. I would say probably that would be the same. It's very high impact. We'll combine the 2.
Brilliant. And Lindsay, I'm going to ask you, do you think out of those 2, which one has got the highest impact for the effort? And obviously we would do this with the group. So if I was doing this with a group, you'd just get everyone to shout lower, higher, and you just get them to call out until you've got a rough guide of where it should sit. But in this case, Lindsay, I'm going to pick on you. Which one of those 2 do you think's got the highest impact for the effort?
Celebrate previous success.
Okay, great. So that one has got highest impact, least effort. So let's move the other one slightly down, Connor. So we know it's still high impact, but not quite as high. So share examples will move slightly down just to prioritize maybe a little bit more for my OCD-ness. Perfect, thank you. All right, and just for interest's sake, let's put the other 3 on very quickly. Let's pick one. Head back, when in doubt. Yeah, let's do that one. Promote a culture that allows change. Zina, That's probably a little bit more effort for the impact, right? Changing
I'd
culture
say
is
that
never
was
easy.
high effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have a
So,
high impact, but very high effort.
yeah, so let's put that. Yeah, Connor, perfect. It's going to take a bit more time. Bring the next one. Okay. Sheila, where should we put this one? Promote perspectives of seeing failures as building blocks.
I think in theory it should be very high impact. Realistically, I'm not so sure. So potentially a bit lower, slightly further down. Yeah, I think.
So let's put it.
As I say, in an ideal world, it would absolutely be high impact, low effort.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And Connor, if you bring across the last one. Showcase learning. And Lindsay, I'm going to ask you to do this one for us. Impact versus effort for showcasing learning. Where do you think we should place that?
And that could be probably up with the in the low effort, high impact.
Yeah,
probably
so,
a little bit less down.
Yeah.
So further left.
Yeah.
Sort of underneath, probably underneath share examples.
So slightly underneath, Connor. So just underneath share examples. Brilliant.
There we go.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
All right. So Connor, if you can just zoom out and show us the whole board again quickly. So what we've done in 30 odd minutes is taken an issue or a challenge, brainstormed what's positive, really brainstormed what's holding us back, the challenges. With a very democratic, very quick and agile voting process, we picked the challenges that we feel would have the greatest impact, the ones that are worth solving. We picked one of those challenges and we used a decider vote to do that, but we could have done a democratic vote and to turn that into a very poor, I apologize, how might we question, but it's how might we question nonetheless. We then very quickly ideated 16 solutions ideas in 3 minutes or less. We took those across and we prioritized them and with voting, and then the ones that had the greatest potential, we've put on impact versus effort. And impact versus effort is one of my favorite canvases for deciding where do we start, because we often have so many innovation ideas, things we want to do, and this is a very quick, effective way to think for the energy that we have, for the resources we have, where do we start? So we use the impact effort canvas daily. Connor, if you zoom back in, we're going to do the final block, which is turning that into action steps. So if you can duplicate the top left. So the top left post-it, which is the highest impact for the least effort. Duplicate that across there.
Yeah, awesome. Different one, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no, the same. Yeah, same one. Is that the one that was top left? Highest impact, least effort? Just sit back across?
Yeah.
Yes, sold. All right, so now we're going to turn that into some tangible outcomes. Those outcomes need to be simple, inexpensive, achievable, allocated to a person or a team with a time deadline. So they've got to be simple and easy experiments we could do next week. They've got to be allocated to a person or a team, and they've got to be linked to a deadline. Zena, I'm going to ask you for our first one. If you had to do this for a fictitious business, what could be a simple task for that outcome? How do we celebrate previous innovation success?
I would start maybe by talk to all the managers and get each manager to identify one person who's done something different within their team.
Brilliant. So talk to managers, identify success stories. Zena's going to do it by next week, Friday, Zena?
Absolutely, because it's that important.
Yeah. Brilliant. So we've been a bit silly here, a bit tongue-in-cheek, but again, we've taken a big problem and we've got some implementation techniques in 30 minutes or less. Sheila, I'm going to ask you to give us another task. What else could we do to celebrate previous innovation success?
We could promote that across Yammer and other comms channels where it's not as formal, but it's a different channel that people will use in a different way. So we identify different channels to use.
Amazing. And you've just given Connor a new app to add to his Safari, Yammer, to celebrate successes.
Yeah, and I'd like to add to Sheila's and say that we could get each person to record a 60-second video to share to make it really personal.
Yeah. Just if you're going to be looking that up, it's my pronunciation. It's Yammer.
Okay.
YAMMER.
Amazing. Pop it in the chat, Sheila. Brilliant. And then 60-second videos. And then Stuart, I'm going to get you to give us a fourth task in a second. So stand by. 60-second videos. Sheila, Zena, who we're going to get to do that? I'm sure we've got a project team. Have we got a fictitious project team that's going to champion that by a date?
Yeah, we get our communications expert and each individual to create their own video, just using their phone.
So we'll get Emma to do that since she's not here today, right? So
Yeah,
we'll just
absolutely.
allocate that to Emma for next Friday, Connor. If you're not in the meeting, you're going to get a task. That's how it works. Stuart, why don't you unmute and tell us about the C-Suite periodical? Because that's going to
yeah.
be on the
So quarterly provide an update to the C-Suite execs. So one page on each success story, which gives them the facts that they need. Therefore, they can then drop it into any meetings or examples and other bits and pieces and refer back to it.
That's an awesome one. And we could even celebrate failures. We could have the biggest failure for the quarter, but we could learn from that, right? So all sorts of cool stuff. I love that idea. C-Suite periodical. I love that.
I know you only want 3, but actually that's another good thing. Greater Anglia do that. Each year they have an award ceremony and they also celebrate their greatest failure. Brilliant.
Okay, Connor, you can allocate that to me. If there's anyone who knows about failure, it's me. Visa failure. So I'll take that one. So how cool is that, right? We've come up with 4 cracker implementation tasks. Julie says, daring to try. Julie, we love that. We're definitely stealing that. 4 cracker ideas to go and explore. Now, the trick with these is they are small enough and cheap enough that we could do these next week. Podcast recordings, a 1-pager success story. This is all something that we could do next week and report back with some traction straight away. So awesome job, Connor. You're a star with your typing. If the innovation doesn't work out for you, I think Zena's got an admin job going.
Any day.
Thank you for your commentary. Let's zoom out and just walk through the process one more time. So it shows the power of sprints, it shows the power of Miro, or you could do this on any online tool you liked. Microsoft Whiteboard, Google Jamboard, wherever you want to play. Mural's another one, but nice canvases, quick and easy way with a time box to get everyone to brainstorm as much as possible. Once you've brainstormed wide, you want to choose very quickly. And it doesn't matter if it's a bad choice because we can rinse and repeat. We can come back, we can pick another one, and we can start this process again. It's so quick. So we may have not chosen the highest value idea, but we've come up with a problem we wanted to solve. We've turned it into an experiment. We've brainstormed 16 ideas. We've picked the things that we think would be the highest impact for the least effort, and we've turned that into tangible project deliverables allocated to people with a time deadline. Cheap and inexpensive little experiments to test next week. How cool is that? And I'm gonna throw it open, Zena, if you're happy to bring in our panelists just to give us some comments on collaboration, the process, anything they want to share, that would be amazing. And then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think collaboration is clearly key to all of this. And certainly when you're, each sat in your own houses or even in your different countries, you kind of think of that sometimes as a barrier. But I think this kind of activity just shows how technology can really enable us to work really, really effectively together. And then it is, as you say, all about that follow through, getting those actions down and commitment to take it forward. But Sheila, maybe you can comment on kind of collaboration and working together through these difficult times.
Yeah, definitely. What we've done with our platform and with our stakeholders across our businesses, almost this in a more, I'm just going to say face-to-face form. We have calls. So what we now do is we use SharePoint, and we have calls with our stakeholders where we talk through any ideas that are relevant to them, how we can take them forward, and then obviously how we can celebrate that success at the end of it. We very much, when we get towards the end of an ideas implementation, we engage with our senior stakeholders for the business area and make sure that they're involved in that celebration. So we are kind of collaborating using all the different tools that we have, the different channels that we have, and that is across our business at all levels. So, you know, it's as easy to pick up a phone or to Skype or to message a senior manager as it is a peer. So I think that's very much where the creating that culture of it's okay to be involved and it's okay to innovate comes from.
Nice, thank you for that. And Lindsay, I think you've also got some examples of kind of doing this on a more informal basis. I know you used to do kind of almost like a pub chat, I'm going to call it, in the olden days, but kind of back before March. But I think you've carried that on to do kind of more informal kind of brainstorming stuff and collaborate together. Have you got, can you kind of switch your voice back on and tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. So a little bit like Sheila there, we have recognised in health and social care in the county of Herefordshire that actually when you're collaborating together across the different organisations, then you can absolutely have a greater impact for your residents and patients. And we're doing that informally and both formally, but actually our informal weekly Friday morning chats with our ideas generators and our project and programme managers across all different organisations is producing some amazing work and some great links and joining those dots so that we can reduce duplication and we can maximise our resources. Because I think one of the problems we've got at the moment is that we haven't got enough resources and time to do everything we need. So we absolutely need to maximise the resource we currently have. And by talking and communicating and working together, that's how we can maximise our resources. So it's that shared learning and that informal way of sharing the learning that can then completely maximise those resources. Thanks.
Thanks, Lindsay. So, I mean, we're happy to take any questions. I'm sure Grant and Connor and Chad would be too. If anyone's got any questions that you want to type into the chat function, I think, is that the next step, Grant?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chad, if you monitor the chat, I'm just going to bring up the last few slides. Far away, and it's a small enough group that even if you want to unmute and just give us your questions, we're happy to take them. While we're waiting, I think what I get out of this is it works just as well face-to-face as remote. So there's definitely something for a canvas on a board, some post-it notes, and just letting everyone collaborate and then quickly deciding where do we focus, what's greatest value now. Impact effort has really been the canvas that's helped us so much over the past few months, like not enough resources, too many priorities, where do we start? And a neat little thing that Connor found yesterday is Miro's brought out a new function where with the Miro app, you can snap a picture of physical post-it notes and it will turn them into digital post-it notes straight away. So we've been experimenting with sprints that are hybrid. So some people are in a room, some people are virtual, and you'd be able to create and run a process with physical people, physical board and a remote board and get everything into electronic Miro or another platform. So that's pretty cool.
Do you know, that is really neat because, sorry,
cool.
yeah, I was talking to somebody just last week about they were having a meeting where a few people were going to be in the office socially distanced and then other people were going to be at home, and they were saying, you know, how am I going to go about brainstorming and things when, you know, some people are going to be capturing it almost, you know, how they're going to have to each be sitting on a computer in a room, and then it seems pointless having people in a room. So something like that would be it's a really clever idea to have that kind of integrated brainstorming where some people are physical and some people are remote. So that's a really big thing, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So you as a facilitator could run the same process, time limited, some people virtual, some people in the room, have your Zoom screen set up so everybody can see the physical people in the room.
Yeah.
And then once everyone's done the physical post-its, snap some pictures onto the board. You've got it on the Proxima, the projector in the room, plus the virtual teams. Very cool. So our next experiment is a face-to-face training in London in November, where we're aiming to bring a hybrid of participants from the Middle East, physical people in London, and we're going to run a training, both physical and virtual together, including Connor with a GoPro doing on-site innovation tours. That's coming soon to a store near you. We've got a couple more questions, Chad. Did I miss any?
Just one. Multimedia meetings will be the future, and we need to understand how we facilitate this.
Yeah, absolutely. Who is that from?
Lindsay.
Lindsay, yeah, tell us a little bit more about that, because it's a great way to end the session, I think.
I think it's, like you say, I think it's the way forward, and we will have people in the room and people outside of the room. I mean, from a health perspective, at the hospital, I have my consultants in the hospital, but we're connecting with people around the country and around the county, and I've been needed going forward. I've got some ideas and some thoughts myself, but maybe if we can maybe have a little thinking about how we could do that and share ideas around that, because I think it is the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that hybrid of socially distanced physical meetings plus virtual, and how we bring that all together. Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Thank you, Lindsay. Let's wrap up. I've got a couple more slides. Zena, do you want to talk us through coming soon to a cinema near you?
Absolutely. So I hope that everyone is continuing to enjoy these sessions. I know that I really do. And I think it really just stimulates our thinking. So we are kind of having a bit of a change of topic for next time, I think, Grant. Finding new revenue streams, which I think everybody is going to need to engage in at this point in time. Followed by, in November, business model innovation, and then in December, we're going to wrap it all up with a bit of a virtual network party, plus the role of design thinking. So the Wednesday, the 21st of October is already out for you to register, but I'm going to get invites set up for you to register for all three within the next week. So do sign up for those. Then just a final thing about Ideas UK, and that is that our competition, the Idea of the Year competition, is open. Whilst it's sad that we can't have a conference this year, we are going ahead with the competition. And it really is just a great opportunity for you all to enter those ideas and celebrate those employees that have come up with the best ideas. So a lot of what we were talking about today was about celebrating success, really communicating and sharing and marketing those stories of people who've come up with a different idea, are doing something different, and are really making a difference to your organization. And by entering those ideas into the competition, which you'll all be pleased to know is completely free to enter and totally virtual, so no cost involved at all. It's just a great opportunity for you to really celebrate that success and have a great story to share as well. So the closing date isn't till the 12th of October, so you've got almost 4 weeks to get your ideas in. And if you could just share our contact details on the next slide, do get in touch if you'd like to know any more. That's me, Zena, at ideasuk.com. So I look forward to hearing from you. But I'll let you go back a slide and just let Grant finish off too. So thank you guys for delivering another great session.
No, that's amazing, Zena. And I think a couple of those ideas on our Miro board could be winners, right? So we,
absolutely.
Connor's going to share the link. Fair is fair. We'll share it with everybody. And that's actually the wrong slide. If you would like a free Miro board, so a sailboat exercise, please won't you drop us an email, and Connor will send you a free Miro sales boat exercise if you want to play about with that with your team, as well as if you want to learn about Miro. Connor's made an amazing Tuskfish challenge. Make you a Miro expert in 30 minutes or less. So if you'd like those, please drop him an email, sales@innovationtrainingnetwork.com, and we will gladly share that with you. And that, my friends, is that. We're bang on the hour, a little bit early. Nicely done. Thank you, Grant, and thanks for making it so interactive. Really great. Yeah, cool. And thanks everybody for coming. Nice to see some usual suspects. Great to have you here. Pragya, Stuart, lovely to see you. And same time next month, right? See you next month.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you then. Bye.
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 Cheers.